Aloha, my friends. This is Billy Wiggly coming at you live from the Ninth Island, Las Vegas, Nevada. How you doing today, my friend? Are you staying positive? Because you know that's the only way to be. Woohoo! What are we going to talk about today? Hey, you got to check this out. You've heard of GPTs. You got all this talk going on about agents and this and that. Well, I'm going to simplify it for you today. And you got to check this out right here. So what we've got right here is a definition from a white paper that came out from Google that I'm reading right now. And it's saying that the combination of reasoning, logic, and access to external information that are all connected to a generative AI model like Anthropic, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, that is invoking the concept of an agent. And so today, I'm going to show you how to build an OpenAI GPT. We're going to go over what a persona prompted OpenAI GPT, those are the ones that I use, the ones that I create. It's got to do with the prompt. I write persona prompts. Then I'm going to show you how I work with GPTs as agents inside of ChatGPT by OpenAI. Then I'm going to show you an advanced chatbot that I built that's made up of multiple agents. These are one chatbot with various agents inside of it. And then I'm going to take you into the office, my multi-persona agent system. So are you ready? All right, my friends, here we are right inside of ChatGPT. I'm sure you're familiar with this window. It's always changing. When I went out yesterday for a walk and then I came back about an hour later, the interface had changed. They had done a few different things. It's always being updated, and I love it. It's amazing. Now I'm going to show you how to build an OpenAI GPT. So this right here, what you're looking at, it is a GPT. However, there's custom GPTs that we can make. And when we go right down here to the lower left-hand corner, right in here, or your right-hand corner where your initials are, it used to be right up here. Not that, well, yesterday it was right up there until yesterday evening. It moved right back down here. So when you click on your initials right here, you're going to see that you've got these options. You've got My GPTs. You can customize ChatGPT. That's where you put your custom instructions. And you've got your settings. But where we're going is right here to My GPTs. When you go to My GPTs, here is where you're going to see the GPTs that you created. So these are custom chatbots. They're agents. And I'm going to show you how to build a really simple one that you can use for yourself. So, instead of being right in here and having to come up, with some fancy prompt, or how you're looking in LinkedIn, or you're looking on the web and you find download 1,000 prompts to help you do this, forget about that. Just build yourself a custom GPT, and then that way you don't have to be coming up with fancy prompts. You can just talk to it like a normal person, communicate with it and work with it. So we're going to build a custom GPT. So once again, you're going to go down into your initials are. You're going to check out My GPTs. And then from here, you can create a custom GPT. Now there's GPTs available. So let's see, where can we find? I don't even know what they did with the OpenAI GPTs. Let's go. Oh, ChatGPT. I don't even know that. We'll have to save that. They move things around. I'm a little bit lost within it now. However, I don't really use GPTs that are created by other people. I create my own GPTs. And here you see these are all GPTs that I work with. And we're going to go ahead and step one to create your own custom GPT is just click on Create GPT. Now, you can start out right here in configure. And this is where you give your GPT a name, you give it a description, and for the instructions, well, that's where the prompt goes. And then there's conversation starters. You're going to see all this in a moment. And then you've got your knowledge files. This is where you create your embeddings. This is like the memory. You can think of it like that. And then you can give your GPT capabilities. You can have it search the web. You can have it generate images. You can select code interpreter so that it does some code analysis and the like. Now, to keep it really simple for you, we're just going to go right to create. And we're going to have ChatGPT build the GPT for you. You can start here and then configure it yourself, customize it as you learn more things, as you want to fine tune it. Or maybe it's just going to create one for you that is just perfect for you. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to make one that writes formulas for us in Excel. So I'm going to go right over here, open up my clipboard, and here we go, right here. Please build me a GPT that helps me write Excel formulas and analyze data. And then all we got to do is just press enter or press that little arrow. And now it's going to be updating the GPT. It's coming up with the GPT. It's writing the prompt for you and everything. So there you have it. It's telling us right here that it's set up the GPT to specialize in Excel formulas and data analysis. Now let's choose a name. And it's calling it Excel Insights Assistant. So now if you wanted to give it a different name, you can just tell ChatGPT, no, I don't like that name, I want a different name. Now you can change that later. But we're going to go with this name and we're going to say, hey, I like it. Boom. And then what it's going to do, it's probably going to generate an image for us right here, an icon so we can easily identify it. And there it is. It's generating a profile image. You can check it out. It's working. And there, it's our images. Nice. Excuse me. And so there we go. We got the Excel Insights Assistant. We got the image. We're happy with it. And right here in this preview section, in this preview section, we can go ahead and test it out. Now look, it created conversation starters for us. Now you can modify all these. You can modify everything when you go into the configure section. So I'm just going to tell ChatGPT here, hey, do you like it or should we tweak it further? Hey, I love it. I love it. Let's go. And it's going to say, yeah, hey, perfect. Now, if you need to do anything special, you can just let it know here. So we can keep working with ChatGPT right in here, and it's going to keep fine-tuning and customizing our GPT. You can always come back to configure. Let's say you start using it, and it's not quite doing the things that you want it to do. Well, you can come back into the create part, and I'm going to show you how to do this, once you've created it, how to come back in here. And then you can have it update, or you can go straight into the configure right here. You can think of that as like the advanced settings. You can go to configure, and look, it went ahead and put the name in there. Here's where you can just go right ahead and change the name of your GPT right there. In configure is where you can go in and customize it yourself however you want to, or you can always come back to create and then just tell ChatGPT, I want to make some changes, and you're going to see in a moment. So we go to configure, and what it's done, it says, hey, look, there's the name. Okay, there's the image, and there's the description for it. And here we got our instructions. This GPT is an expert in Excel formulas, data analysis, and spreadsheet management. So there you have it. It's created the instructions, and you can think of that as the prompt for your GPT. Now here's the conversation starters right here. This is what's appearing right there. Those are called conversation starters. You can edit them right inside this configure section. You can change them around. You can delete them. And it gives us room for 5, but it always usually only displays 4. Okay, so now we can upload knowledge files. And we're not going to upload any knowledge files in this one, but I'm going to show you one of my own custom GPTs. I'm going to show you how I have specific instructions in there. I have my own prompt in there. And I'm going to show you how I use the knowledge base. So this one, the capabilities is web search, image generation. And because we're in Excel, I'm going to give it the code interpreter data analysis ability. Now this section right here where it says create a new action, that's when you want to connect your GPT to an external source. Maybe you want to connect it to your database, your CRM, or you want to connect it to a specific section of your website, or you want to connect it to the API to Perplexity. This is going to be a little bit more advanced, and we'll talk about this in a later lesson. So now, I'm not going to test it out right here. I'm just going to go ahead and just press create. And let's just go right ahead and create this GPT. Now, here's where you got some options. You can say, hey, this GPT is going to only be for me, or it's going to be for anyone with the link, or look at that. Let's say you come up with a super duper GPT. You came up with your great idea. Remember this, the impossible is now possible. So whatever idea you have, that you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's just a really crazy idea. I'm not going to even try it. Go ahead and try it. Maybe it's not so crazy. Maybe there's a lot of people that would like to have a GPT and they never thought about the GPT that you're thinking of building. And you put it in the GPT store and people start buying it. You can get a little extra side income. So here we have our Excel Insights. I'm going to say anyone with the link can use it. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. And now it's updating. And it's creating that GPT for us. And once it's created, we're going to go ahead and let's just test it out. So this is a live stream. I've got some ideas on, how we're going to test it out. But we might have some issues. I don't know. Because it's live. That's what I love about live. Whenever we run into problems, we got to solve them on the spot. So let's go ahead and let's view this GPT. And there's our GPT. Nice. Now remember, you can always customize these conversation starters. Maybe you don't want to always need to know how to create a VLOOKUP formula and the like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go right into my GPT and I'm going to paste, let's see, I'm going to paste this image right here. It's an image of this spreadsheet right here. Let me close this. This worksheet right here. In this worksheet, what we want to have is to make this worksheet work properly, we're going to need a formula to get for the current date. We're going to need a formula for the invoice due date. We're going to need a formula that calculates the age and one that tells us the number of days overdue. And the number of days overdue is once it's over 30 days, it's overdue. So let's see if just from me pasting this image into this GPT, it can figure out all the formulas for us. So let's get right back to our GPT. And I'm going to say, let's see right here. See if I got this saved. Please write the formulas necessary. Here we go. Please write the formulas necessary to complete this worksheet. For the, let's see, what did we call this? For the number of days overdue. All right. For the number of days overdue, if it is greater, if it is greater than, come on, that's less than. If it is greater than 30 days, it is overdue, tell me how many days overdue, and then if it is not overdue, tell me have the cell display current. Just like that. All right. So please write the formulas necessary to complete this worksheet. For the number of days overdue, if it's greater than 30 days, it is overdue. Tell me how many days. If it is greater than 30 days, it is overdue. Tell me how many days overdue. If it's not overdue, have the cell display current. So let's get back into the spreadsheet, and basically it should give me the current date right here, give me the formula to go there. It should give me the formula to give me the invoice due date, the formula to tell us the age of it, and then the formula that goes in here, which is a logical statement, because we want to know the number of days overdue. Calculate the number of days. If it's more than 30 days, it's overdue. Tell me how many days. If it's not overdue, just let's put in the text current. All right. So I haven't tried this before. I've done this before, just when I was practicing, and I had to just do every formula individually. But let's see if it does it all at once for us. Might as well try. Let's go. And it's working right now. There it is. To complete this worksheet, here's you can calculate the age and number of days overdue. Oh, there we go. And it's telling us what to do. Come on. To calculate the age of the invoice. Now, I tried doing this in just ChatGPT without creating a custom GPT, just in the regular ChatGPT window. And it really didn't do it like this. It gave me all kinds of different answers. I had to kind of keep asking questions. But with a custom GPT, it knows exactly what it's supposed to do. It's already been instructed to just do Excel and do data analysis. So I don't have to write a custom prompt to tell it what I'm about to do. See here, we're just talking in plain English right here because the GPT is already instructed. Isn't that cool? So let's see how this goes. To complete this worksheet with the formulas in Excel, here's how you can calculate the age and number of days overdue. So for the first one, in cell B3, we're going to do this one. So we're going to copy the code right there. And I'm going to go back into Excel. And I'm going to put it in cell B3. Boom, there we have it. Nice. That's going to give us the current date. That's equals today. The function today tells us what the date is today. And this one updates. So if you open up this spreadsheet tomorrow, it's going to give us today's date for tomorrow. And now for the invoice due date. Let's go back to our GPT. I'm getting excited. I love this. And now calculate the age of the invoice. And in cell F5, it's telling us what to put in there. So we're going to copy the code. And look at that. Nice. So I'm going to go right in here. You might have to modify the formula later, but let's see. Boom. There's the invoice due date. You know, I'm going to change this to the year to 24 right here. So it doesn't tell us it's, like 100 days. Invoice due date. Control V. It's B3. It anchored it. Minus B5. That doesn't look right. just manually do it equals that one. I press F4 to anchor. Minus. It's the current date. Maybe it's the invoice date. Maybe it's backwards. Equals that one minus that one. No. Huh. Do I have the proper formatting in here? Oh. I put it in the wrong place. That's not the age. This is, see, I need to calculate this human error. Calculate the age of the invoice, and this is supposed to go into cell F5. I put it in the wrong place. See, a lot of times it's user error. So that's not F5, that's E5 that I put it into. That's why I'm getting the wrong answer. So let's put it in there. Now we got it. The age of the invoice is 91 days. Boom. User error. That's correct. It's B3 anchored minus B5. There you go. I was puzzled for a minute. You might have been looking at this going, Billy, let me look in the chat. Did anybody try to tell me, oh, you're in the wrong cell? I went straight to E5 instead of F5. So user error. And now calculate the number of days overdue. Let's see. What about for the invoice due date? Let's go back over here. Oh, I didn't tell it that the invoice was going to be 30 days from the invoice date, but we can do that manually here. I didn't give it the instructions to do that. So for the invoice due date, it didn't know. It couldn't just assume that it's 30 days. That's why it didn't give it to us. I had to tell it for the number of days overdue, you know, if it's more than 30 days and the like. The simple ones like the age of it and the current date is obvious. So it gave me those answers. Now for the invoice due date, it doesn't know everything about the invoice, the criteria for that. So the invoice is going to be equal to the invoice date plus 30 days. Boom. So that's the due date. All right, so now we got the age of the invoice, and now we need to know the number of days overdue. And the number of days overdue is going to be if it's over 30 days, like the age. If it's more than 30 days, it's overdue. So now this one is definitely overdue. Let's go back to our GPT, and here it says calculate the number of days overdue. And make sure you put it in G5. And it says if F5 is greater than 30, then tell me F5 minus 30. That's how many days overdue it is. And then if not, tell me it's current. Whoops. So let me copy this. We'll go back over here. The number of days overdue. Boom. It's 61. Because the age is 91, right? 91. It's 30 days, anything over 30 days, it's overdue. So it's 61 days overdue. Now, let's say I change the date of it and so that it's current. So I'm going to make the month. I'm going to change the date to August 30th right here. Whoops. Let's make this October. Boom. And now look at that. It's current. The age is exactly 30 days, so it's current. Nice. Look at that. Excellent. I love Excel. And then let's see it. If I wanted to copy this formula down, I can copy it down. Everything's cool. It even gave me the anchoring, right? So that it knows that this particular formula has got to stay in place. When I copy it down, due to relative referencing, everything would update unless we anchored it. Whoo, look at that. A lot of overdue invoices. And now let's copy that on down. And all of these are overdue. Now, let's go to this one right here. And let's just change the date of it, right? Let's make it 10/24. It's overdue 13 days. Let's make it 11. And it should be, we should see it say right here, it should say current. So there we go. Nice. There you go. And we just copied this image, or just took a screenshot of this spreadsheet, and we put it into our GPT, and it figured everything out for us. Now, we missed one, the age of it, or the invoice due date, because I didn't tell it, right? What the criteria is for the invoice due date. Like, I had to tell it right here, what would be the criteria for this. The other ones are obvious, it was able to tell us. So now let's do another one here. Let's go right ahead, and it's going to be this data range right here. So I'm going to want to know something specific about it. Let me go ahead and take that out. All right. I'm going to want to know all of the people that have the position of corporate staff, or that are in the corporate staff department. So I want to know all the people in the department corporate staff that have a salary greater than 40,000, and a performance rating greater than 2. All right. So for example, Tyrone Anderson would meet that criteria. So I just take a screenshot of this, which I already did, and let's go right back into our GPT, and I'm going to press Windows V where this is saved at. There is the image of all that data. Windows V again, where I've got it already typed out. Please analyze this data and find the people that are in corporate staff. Let's go ahead and let me put it in there so we can see it. All right. So here we have it. Please analyze this data and find the people that are in corporate staff, have a salary greater than 40,000, and a performance rating of greater than or equal to 2. So let's go right ahead. Boom. And it's letting us know, there's a lot of different ways to do this, right? We could actually just click inside the data. Your marquee should always be in the data. And we could just go to analyze data. Analyze data is how I started getting into artificial intelligence. A few years ago, Excel started introducing AI into Excel. And this button, I bet you to this day, there's a bunch of you that haven't even clicked on that button yet. And then this button is where you could just click on it and you could start asking Excel what you wanted. But the important part is knowing how to ask the right questions. Because if you don't know how to ask the right questions, you're not going to get the right answers. And so here it's giving us recommended, suggested insights. So that's how I started getting into AI, was by teaching Excel. And I love Excel. Excel is such a great tool. You probably use it every day. You probably got an Excel spreadsheet open right now that you were working on. And you're thinking, oh, I can build a GPT to help me with all that. Yes, you can. That's what we're doing. So let's get right back into our GPT. And this time it's telling us to use a formula and using filtering. It's given us a couple of methods. Using filtering. I'm surprised it didn't tell us to use a pivot table. But we could ask it, use a pivot table. But filtering, I guess filtering would be a really quick and simple way to do it by just turning on the filters. But here we got a formula. Using a formula. Oh, that's interesting. I've seen it ask me to use the filter formula before. But let's see. This is using the specific if formula. So you can even tell it, hey, can we use the filter function? There's you go. It's giving us another way. And we probably could ask it, hey, can we just make a pivot table? And it would tell us. And look at this. When it's explaining the filter function to us, explaining how the formula is broken down. Let's go right ahead and copy the code here and use this logical statement with a if and. All right, so put that into cell J2. Well, this is pretty cool. So J2, and let's paste that formula in there. And now it's telling us that this one is a match, right? Look at that. So that's how it's telling us. It's telling us if it's a match or not. So that's one way of doing it. Yeah, okay, this one meets the criteria. This one doesn't. This one does. This one doesn't. But maybe that's not really what we wanted. You know, we can modify this function right in here, and we can, what we wanted is we wanted to know the actual name. So maybe what happened was I didn't give it the proper instructions. So it's all in how we talk to it. It's just like people. When you give someone instructions and you ask somebody to do something for you, like if you didn't tell them the right way to do it, or if you didn't give good instructions, you're not going to get exactly the answer that you wanted. Now, the result that we're getting is correct because it's matching the criteria, but what we wanted to see the name. All right, so let's see here. Let me make sure I asked it right. Please, I said find the people. See that? Find the people that are in corporate staff. But let's go ahead and add, use the filtering. And then we're going to say it's saying K1. So we could put it actually in anyone, but let's put it right here in J. Boom. And now look at that. Yeah, nice. That's how I like it. Yes. So it's given us, now, we could actually say, hey, we want to see the header row or the like, or we could just say, hey, we only want the names and we can change it. Please, here we go. I only need the names and the salary. Boom. So let's see if it's going to redo the filter. There you go. Now let's go ahead and to extract only the names and salary, you can modify the filter function. So it gave us two. It gave us the one that tells us match or no match. And then this one, I think I clicked away and it didn't finish. I'm just going to have it redo it up here. Boom, send. Let it finish before I exit. All right, so, let's try that. That looks a little bit different to me. So, oh, here we go. Copy code. There we have it right there. Boom. And it created a spill, you see. This is called a spill when you see that. So there we have it, my friends. That was the GPT that made us this Excel, gave us the Excel formulas from just an image. We just pasted an image into our GPT And now you notice that I didn't give it the proper instructions. I didn't ask it the right questions. And so, we struggled a little bit going through to make sure we got it gave us answers to how I was asking the instructions, but the results weren't exactly what I was looking for. So we had to just redo them. Now, let's say that we wanted to modify this GPT. Well, you can just go right up here into our Excel Insights Assistant, and then we can go to Edit GPT. Come on. Sometimes you got to do it a couple times. There we are. And we can update the instructions to it right here. We can change the name. We can even redo the image. Just click on the image and you can upload your own photo, or you can use Dolly to generate a new one. We can say, you know what, we actually don't need these. I don't need this one, for example, or you can just re-edit it or whatever you like. Teach me a simple formula today, or what's the function of the day, and the like. Now, this is where you would go and configure, and then when you're done configuring, you update it. So this is just a simple GPT that you made yourself. Now let me go back and show you one of my GPTs. So let's just start a new chat right here. Okay. And if I go to my name down here and I look at my GPTs, these are all just different GPTs that I have created. So let's go ahead and we can either open the sidebar and we can open up our GPTs from here, or we can just call them up. So let's go right back to our conversation. And when you want to call up a GPT, you can just start out with an ad, and then you're going to see recent GPTs, and you can even start talking to it. So let's say, let's go back to this last chat right here. Let's go back to this chat right here. Okay. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to call up LinkedIn Linda. And let me try something here. There's LinkedIn Linda right there. And I'm going to press enter. And there's LinkedIn Linda. And I'm going to say, I need your help, Linda. Boom. And there's Linda. Absolutely. Here, let's tackle whatever challenge. Now, Linda is an expert on LinkedIn. So I want to write a post. So Linda, please write a post about what we just did with Excel. And then I press enter, and she's going to look up at the, what? That's not what we did. Let's start over right here. Let me give you a little bit better example. It's not quite working out exactly like I wanted to. So we're just going to go and we're going to open up a new conversation right here. And let's call up Mary Marketing. And I'm going to show you something. Add Mary. There's Mary Marketing. And I'm going to tab right into Mary. And I'm going to say, aloha, Mary. Are you ready to help me? Boom. Because I just like to wake up my GPTs. I don't know if this is really necessary, but I like to wake them up. And there's Mary Marketing, your go-to for all things content strategy and AI-driven marketing brilliance. She's ready to help me. And now she knows a lot about my AI for Leaders course. So let me see. I'm going to say, Mary, please write me a post about section 3 of the AI for Leaders course. Now she knows what section 3 is. There you go. Look at that. Section 3 of my AI for Leaders course takes a deep dive into transformative power of generative AI across critical business areas: marketing, customer experience, sales, operations, supply chain, finance, and accounting. That's section 3. Oh, let's just make sure we know the right. Look at that. That's a post ready to go into some social media. But how did she know what section 3 is about? Well, let's go back to my GPTs right here. I'm going to open up my GPTs and let's find Mary Marketing. There's Mary Marketing. And when we look at Mary Marketing, I'm going to edit the GPT. Remember how I talked about the knowledge base? Well, I uploaded my entire course into the knowledge base. The curriculum, the description of the course, the scripts for every single video, all of the information for the AI for Leaders course is in here. So Mary knows all about the AI for Leaders course. And we're using right here what is called RAG. RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. So it's going to, when I ask it to do something, it's going to look in the knowledge base and it's going to retrieve the answer. Then it's going to augment it using the LLM, in this case, OpenAI 4.40. And then it's going to generate a response from the information that it retrieved. That's pretty awesome. Now, let's go back to what we had done over here. And now I'm going to call in LinkedIn Linda because I want this post. This is more looking like a Facebook post. I want it to look more like a LinkedIn post. So we're going to go right back in here and I'm going to say add. There's LinkedIn Linda. Hooky Hook Jenny generates hooks for me for my YouTube videos. So let me tab right into LinkedIn Linda. I'm going to say, aloha, Linda, please optimize this post for LinkedIn. Boom. And now she's going to take that post that Mary Marketing wrote and she's optimizing it for LinkedIn because, you have to modify your posts. If you're working in social media, you want to, your Facebook posts, your TikTok video, your LinkedIn video, it's a little bit different because you have a different audience in every channel. And there, look at that. It added some emojis right here. I need some oh yeah, look, it even gave us a hashtag right in there. That's a little bit different from what Mary Marketing was doing. Now we can keep customizing it even further. I could even now let's call up Hooky Hook Jenny, because maybe I want a hook, not a title just like that, write me a hook for this. So we're going to go add Hooky Hook Jenny, write me a hook for this post. Boom. Because that's going to be the very first part that you see in the LinkedIn, right? You see sometimes you'll see some words and then you're going to see the more ... because it's not going to show you the whole post right off the bat in LinkedIn, right? And so now it's giving us this one. The secret to outpacing your competition, generative AI is transforming business as we know it. Are you ready to lead the charge? I could use that as a hook, or I could say, nah, I don't really want to use that hook. But that would be, if you're satisfied with the hook, you can use that hook. And we could say, hey, let's put it all together. And let's see if it puts it all together. It should put the hook. There's the hook. All right. And then there's the rest of the post. How is that? Isn't that cool? That's the choir of victory. Everybody should have a choir of victory button. That way, every time you do something good, You can press that button. But look at that. Isn't that amazing? And now we got it ready. Now you can keep working with it. Look, it's even asking for engagement. All right. And this is all tied to my AI for Leaders course that Mary Marketing knows all about. So we started out with Mary Marketing, then we called up LinkedIn Linda, then we had Hooky Hook Jenny give us the hook. And this is going to be the part that shows up in the post, and then you're going to have the see more ... and then there's the rest of the post. All right. Pretty awesome. Now, let's go and look at my GPTs again. And let's take a look at Mary Marketing. Let's go right in here and let's go to edit the GPT. And you notice that in the Excel GPT that we made, OpenAI ChatGPT wrote the instructions for us. Now, here, this is a custom persona prompt that I'm doing. And this custom persona prompt is a little bit different. It's, there's a whole lot more involved in here. And this is how I give my GPT a persona. This is where I'm evolving my agent, because I like to work with my team. So I keep on moving forward and we keep advancing. But you don't have to start right here. We just simply start with having ChatGPT just build a GPT for you. And remember that you can go back to create and look at this. Welcome back. Is there anything Mary Marketing should be doing better? Let's go back to that GPT that we created, the Excel Insights Assistant, and we can edit it right here, edit GPT. And then we can go to create and look at that. Welcome back. Is there anything Excel Insights Assistant should be doing better? So you could just tell it right here, change the image for me. I wanted to just specialize in making me pivot tables now. Whatever you want to change in your GPT, it can do it for you. Or you can go into configure and you can go ahead as you get more advanced, as you pick up more AI skills, you can go right ahead and change the instructions or change whatever you like. Everything is really customizable. And remember, you can always just ask ChatGPT to help you write a prompt. Hey, I need you to help me write a prompt. It's going to help. It's going to make my Excel Insights Assistant do all these different things. And so it'll help you write a prompt, and then you can come back in there and paste it. I mean, you got so many different options. The impossible is now possible. Now let's take a look at the next thing that we're going to talk about. We've talked about the OpenAI GPT, a persona prompted OpenAI GPT, how I work with my GPTs as agents. Now what we want to do is check out the advanced chatbot with multiple agents. And then I'm going to show you the office. So when we go to GPT Trainer, which is the system that I use to build my chatbot with multiple agents inside of it, I'm going to put the link in the comments for GPT Trainer. And check it out. So we've got multiple chatbots. And here I've got the office. That's the name of this chatbot. Because, my idea is I don't want to sit there in OpenAI. Sometimes I'm working with multiple agents, and then I want to do a little bit something different with Gemini or with Claude, or I need to do a Google search. And then so I got to leave that conversation and go to the other large language model or to Google or Perplexity or wherever I want and do my work. I want to be able to do it all in one conversation. So this is where my GPT Trainer goes. And it's a chatbot with multiple agents inside. So when I go to sources, these are all the sources. And right now I've got my AI for Leaders course, right? So this is the main sources. Now each agent can have its own sources, or it can just access this main library of sources. So let's go right in here into agents. And here we see the agents that I'm working with in this particular chatbot. So this chatbot is just this right here. And it's like I'm walking, I call it my office because that's where I come into work. Everywhere I come into my office. And it's aloha boss. What would you like? Oh, I gotta fix that. So it says, what would you like to accomplish today? Just noticed. So we go back to my agents, and here we have Mary Marketing. And look, Mary Marketing, there's a description for Mary Marketing. There's her name right there, the description for Mary Marketing. The model that I'm using, I can choose different models. So each one of my agents can have a different model. How is that? Pretty nice, right? And something else that you got to think about is there's cost to all this. You get charged by the amount of tokens going in and the amount of tokens coming out. So depending on how heavy the usage is, you might start to think about, maybe I want to use a different model. And it works. And also depends on your results, because every model is going to work a little bit different for you. I don't know if you've noticed that Gemini is good for certain things, Claude for others, ChatGPT 4.0 for others. And now, see, there's my persona prompt right here. And then here, I can also tell it the temperature that I want. How creative do I want it to be and the like. And we've got so much more customization that we can do. For example, for the knowledge base, I can have this particular agent be able to access Google. Here's where I say you have access to all the sources. Now, if I shut that off, here's where I would go and say, this agent is going to have access to specific sources. So that's how I add specific sources just for this agent. So each agent can specialize in different things. This right now, the way I got my office set up, this agent has access to the main library. And then we've got different things that we can do. I'm going to put all sources. There we go. Turn off the pre-canned response. And then we've got advanced hallucination defense. Boom. So it doesn't. Now I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm not going to mess with it. Let's just close this. And Lyra Keene, she's my AI LinkedIn expert. There's her prompt. She's got a little bit different temperature. She's not as creative. She's as Mary Marketing, because I don't need her to be. The knowledge base, she doesn't have access to Google. And here's where we have functions. This is where I can add more connected to the API, connected to my website. This is where I give the agents tools to work with. Now, here is Google. And Google, I've got a specific prompt for Google, my Google agent. And the temperature is 0. I want Google to stay exactly with whatever Google finds in Google. And for the knowledge base, Google doesn't have access to all the sources or any specific sources. It has access to the internet, to Google search. Now, what about when I want to work with Claude? I need to know, well, hey, what do you think about this, Claude? Well, I got my other agent that I'm setting up right now, Claude, and I'm just now setting him up. So there's no fancy prompt in here yet. There's nothing going on. But what he's going to end up doing, he's going to go, and when I call Claude, I'm going to say, Claude, what do you think about this? And then Claude's going to analyze and give me a response. How do I control all that? Now, when we were working with our GPTs here, I had to be the one that had to call up Mary Marketing. I had to call up LinkedIn Linda. I had to call up Hooky Hook Jenny. I had to call them up. Well, here in GPT Trainer, we've got the AI supervisor. And the AI supervisor is going to determine what agent takes over the conversation depending on the intent. So let's take a look at the AI supervisor. Now, I'm just building my office right now, so there's not a lot of rules in place. The bias and stickiness, I'll explain that at another day, because I'm just working on, when I have it more set up, I'm going to do another video where we just go into sections of settings. I'm going to show you GPT Trainer, and we're going to break it down to a series of today we're going to talk about rules. Today we're going to talk about intents. But in intents right here, GPT Trainer, right now we're looking at Mary Marketing. GPT Trainer, based on the prompt that I put in there and the description of what Mary Marketing is supposed to do, it came up with its own intents. So now I added my own fixed intents because I want to make sure that if the AI supervisor didn't engage the right agent, or I specifically want to engage a specific agent, like I want Mary to work, well, I've got ways of doing that. I can just say, Mary, or Mary, are you ready? Or Aloha, Mary. And then Mary, the AI supervisor, knows that I'm calling Mary. Now we can go up here, and here's where all of our different agents are. And they all have different intents. So like, for example, LinkedIn Linda, when I'm optimizing LinkedIn profile, networking techniques, anything, this is what the AI itself came up with based on the description that I gave this agent. And then I've got my fixed intents. And Mary she's going to handle creating or optimizing posts for LinkedIn. And when I say, hey, optimize this post for LinkedIn, or whenever I just use the word LinkedIn, the AI supervisor is going to recognize, hey, this is for LinkedIn Linda, and then LinkedIn Linda takes over. But just in case, I've got these different ways of calling her up right here. And then you can go ahead and decide, am I just going to put this chatbot as a little widget in my website? And this particular chatbot, now this is my office. It's just for me. So let's go right ahead and go into, there's the office right here. And I've got to, put some proper grammar in there. What would you like to accomplish today? And I've got my conversation starters right here. Now, I don't need to have those conversation starters. I can just start saying, hey, write me a post for section 3 of the course. All of these agents right now have access to the entire library. Or I can just call them up. Mary, are you ready? And then Mary's going to answer me. Come on, Mary. And I know this is Mary, even if I didn't call her up by name. I know when Mary is working, because each one of my agents inside the prompt, I told it to, I wrote it so that it gives me emojis letting me know, that indicate which agent it is. So even if it didn't say, hey, this is Mary, I see this phone right here. It's the response starts with a little cell phone and ends with a cell phone. That's how I know Mary Marketing. Let's just test something out. What is section 3 of the AI for Leaders course? And now she's looking at the library, and there's generative AI applications across business. Look at that. Nice. And I need to turn this into a LinkedIn post. Boom. And now who's supposed to take over? It should be LinkedIn Linda that takes over. And here we have LinkedIn Linda took over and made me a post. Now adjust the formatting into bullet points. That's how you want to display it in LinkedIn, make it a little bit easier for read. And then now Mary Marketing somehow took over. But that's not on section 3. The human still has to be involved in here. Now she's probably going to say, oh, oops, sorry. Video. What is section 3 of the AI for Leaders course? That is what I want the post to be about. There we go. And I even got some sources right here. Boom. There's the outline. And there's the curriculum. I don't need to know all that. Okay. So, can we write a LinkedIn post using bullet points and make it about section 3. Now, I'm going to end this here pretty soon because, this is the office and I just started working on it. I got to fine tune intents. I got to go back and fine tune a whole lot of different things. But there it is right here. AI for Leaders, section 3, generative AI cross functions. And there we have it. That's our LinkedIn post. And I know it's LinkedIn. I know it's LinkedIn Linda because she opens and ends with that star. And now maybe I want to make it more persuasive. And I've got Lyra Keene, who specializes in neuro-linguistic programming language. So let's test this out. One last thing right here, just for fun. Let's add NLP language to that post. Let's see. Come on. No. Use NLP in the post. Post to make it more persuasive. Boom. That should launch Lyra Keene. So come on. Oh, Lyra Keene's still not coming up right now. So maybe I need to. Lyra. Boom. Lyra, are you ready? All right. Okay. So anyways, you're getting the idea. See, there's Lyra right there. I know it's Lyra because that's her. So there's some fine tuning that I need to do, but my whole goal is to have my office where I just come in and I just start working and I've got my team already trained and set up just like I want them to be. And they are going to be working with me and working together, and they're going to have access to tools and the like. So I'm going to invite you back whenever I've got the office fully set up and each agent has access to different LLMs. And oh my goodness, one of these days, I'm just going to the goal is to one of these days, I'm just going to give my team the mission. And then they're going to go and they're going to work together and they're going to pick the right tools that they need to have and do whatever it takes to fulfill that mission. And all I'm doing is I'm just watching them work. Like, hey, I need you to go ahead and build this specific business for me or build this particular campaign and ensure that we generate X amount of revenue, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, just like a normal company. And then boom, press enter, and they off on their own to take care of everything. So there you have it, my friends. I know it was quite a little bit of a long time that we spent on here. It went over a little bit more than I wanted to. But I know that you've gotten the idea. You know that the impossible is now possible. And everything that I'm doing right here, you can do it too. When you need some help, just go right ahead and send me a message. You can find me on LinkedIn. And I'll be ready to help you out, give you some tips. You want me to help you build, or you want me to build some persona prompts for you? I can build persona prompts for you. You can also check out my AI for Leaders course in case you're thinking about, how do I implement AI into my company. I made a course that tells you all about some of the things that you should look at when considering implementing AI into your business. It teaches you a few AI basics. And it shows you what other companies are doing and how they're using AI to give you some ideas. So there you have it, my friends. Remember, I love you. I want you to keep on learning. And most of all, don't get mad. Get yourself some skills. Aloha.